Good day to you, distinguished viewers. I welcome you to Rero TV. My name is Abigborodo Henry Akpos. Today we are in Sapele Okpe Community Town Hall, where Community Chairman Okakuro Temiagi and his executive are set to hold a press briefing in response to a publication by the chairman of Abigborodo Community in Warri North Local Government, Barrister Misa Kubenje, sometime last week, where he provided documents claiming ownership of some parts of Gbekoko and Otonyasere community lands. This issue has set social media alight, and the Sapele Okpe Community have decided to respond. So many persons are here, chiefs, political names, and even the women in the community and youth. They are all here to witness this press briefing.
Duke, chiefs, leaders of the community, executive, the Egwemese, the youths, the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to this press briefing tagged Response to Abigborodo Press Briefing over demands of recognition as host community by Seplat Energy PLC and claim of ownership of Otonyasere and Gbekoko in Sapele land, Sapele Okpe Community, as Abigborodo land, and fictitious claim of Bukurusu land by Obotie people. We, as members of the executive of Sapele Okpe Community, chiefs and stakeholders, and Otonyasere village watched without surprise the press conference organized by leaders of Abigborodo Community in attempt to join issues with an earlier press conference organized by Sapele Okpe Community and Otonyasere. Though not particularly amazed by the distorted evidence of traditional history of ownership as presented by Mr. Misa Kubenje on behalf of Abigborodo Community, it is imperative to correct some of the erroneous impression probably expounded as a result of ignorance. Our response is as follows. 1. It is not in contest that Abigborodo is an Ishekiri community in Warri North local government situated across Abigborodo Bridge. Apart from this undeniable fact and the facts relating to the several petitions and protests initiated by Abigborodo Community, every other statement in the press briefing, including the quoted provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Host Community Development Regulations 2022, the content of the white paper / report of Judicial Panel of Inquiry, as well as the statement relating to the purported activities of Seplat in Abigborodo land, are deliberate falsehood concocted to hoodwink the unsuspecting public. 2. On the issue of ownership of Otonyasere village, it is imperative to clear the air as follows. Sapele Okpe Community and Otonyasere village are not Ishekiri communities. They are in Okpe land founded by our forefathers. Long time ago, before the advent of the British, Abigborodo Community has never been part of the Okpe Urobo Forest Reserve, which was constituted by the Okpe Sobo Native Authority with the approval of the colonial masters, sometimes in 1933, pursuant to Order number 33 of 1933 made under the Forestry as amended Ordinance of 1927. A copy of the ordinance of the order is herewith attached. Order number 33 of 1933 made under the Forestry Ordinance in 1927 did not make any allusion to Abigborodo Community as being part of Forest Reserve at the time, nor the forestry instrument recognized it. Before the reserve was constituted in 1933, the Okpe Urobo Native Authority, represented by the Ekakuros of the various Okpe villages, including Ayomano, Egbele, Egefo, etc., sent out notices on the 7th of May 1932 of the proposed constitution of the Okpe Urobo Forest Reserve and called for those who have issues to submit their protest to the Native Court of Okpe Urobo Clan Council within 3 months. Pursuant to this notice, representative of the Olu of Ishekiri, as he was then known, submitted a protest letter dated 11th July 1932. The letter reads, "All that piece of land described in the aforesaid notice belong to the Olu of Ishekiri, who is the sole trustee of all Ishekiri land. We further beg to hope that your honor will accordingly inform the Okpe Sobo Native Authority that this protest is a cancellation of the Okpe Urobo public notice referred to above. A certified true copy of the protest letter is herewith attached." They brought fake documents, the Ishekiri people. The implication of this protest letter is that the Ishekiri people, through their king, were claiming that the proposed Okpe Urobo Forest Reserve belonged to them and wanted a halt of the exercise. All protests, including that of the Olu of Ishekiri people, were duly considered before the Native Administration Forest Reserve was finally constituted in 1933. After the constitution of the Native Administration Forest Reserve, and after all claims and counter-claims were heard and disposed of by the Native Authority, one Chief Elema Okonedo petitioned the Native Authority for ownership and that they were not heard before the Native Administration Forest Reserve was constituted. This was almost a decade after the Native Authority had treated all claims, including that of the Ishekiri people. In a response from the colonial masters to Chief Okonedo of Abigborodo on the 14th May 1941, the colonial masters emphasized that claims to interests in the land were heard, investigated, and decided on the 25th day of October 1932. The reserve was finally constituted by Order 33 of 1933, which was published in the supplement of Gazette, to Gazette number 51 of the 31st of August 1933. A copy of the letter of the colonial masters conveying this decision to Konedo and his people is herewith attached. That's what I just flagged now. However, the colonial masters observed that there was need to remove Obotie from the reserve and grant rights of users to some persons who are tenants to Bukrusu community. Accordingly, the land measuring 2.245 square miles, less than 2.25 miles, square miles, situated in the Shekri Sobo division of the then Warri province, including Obotie, ceased to be part of the reserve by virtue of the Native Authority Public Notice of number 3 of 1944, order made pursuant to Forestry Ordinance 1937. How can a land that has been removed as part of the forest reserve, how can those people now come to say they own land within the forest reserve after 87 years? The families to whom rights of farming were admitted include Mugele, Okporo, Gageshe, Fomala, Adieja, Nuchemi, Biogoro, Agoribe, Agboro, and Agoishe, and Amukoro, all of Sapele, within an area of 170 acres or thereabout. See the second schedule of the Native Authority. That's it. The Authority Public Notice number 3 of 1944, order made pursuant to Forestry Ordinance 1937. These families are still living in Otonyasere village of Sapele till today. No Abigborodo person is among these Gazette names, and no tenant of Abigborodo was met on Otonyasere land of Sapele. The names of Abigborodo was not mentioned throughout the Gazette and Forestry Ordinance because the reserve does not concern Abigborodo land. Abigborodo is on the other side of the Sapele Warri River, otherwise known as Hole in the Wall. Abigborodo, the bridge constructed recently, separates us from Abigborodo community. They have no land this side. The purported lease agreement of 1919 does not relate to Otonyasere or any part of Okpe land. It was a calculated document prepared as a proof of possession in 1919. There was no practice of written customary tenancy like the one being paraded by the Abigborodo people. So Abigborodo people should cease to mislead the unsuspecting public in a bid to criminally take over our God-given land full of milk and honey. Our village, the Sapele Okpe, Otonyasere, have been playing host to Shell Petroleum Development Company Limited, Chevron, since 1970. And now to Seplat Energy, after taking over from Shell, Seplat. Seplat has been operating in Okpe land since 2010. After taking over all oil operations from Shell Petroleum, they paid royalties to Sapele Okpe Community, and subsequently Seplat has been paying royalties to Sapele Okpe. And our village, Otonyasere people, without let or hindrance, in recognition of our right as the owners of the land where they operate. Abigborodo executive are calling for recognition as host community on the basis of Otonyasere and Gbekoko land, which are Okpe land. Seplat activities do not extend to Abigborodo. The public should know that. Government knows that. On the issue of compliance with PIA and Nigerian Upstream Host Community Development Regulation 2022, Abigborodo Community cannot continue to use government institution to muzzle itself into the status of host community. Section 318 of the PIA defines host community to mean a community situated in or opponent to the area of operation of a settler, and any other community as a settler may determine under Chapter 3 of the said Act. Abigborodo Community is not situated in the area of operation of Seplat, nor is it appurtenant to the area of operation of Seplat. Abigborodo cannot continue to lay bulk claim to Okpe land except Sapele Okpe executive to be silent under the mischievous argument that the case is between Seplat and Abigborodo Community only. Abigborodo executive have been petitioning institutions and collecting reports which favor them. Unfortunately, they are never willing to file a suit in a reputable court, competent court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to fight their case. They are never willing to file a suit for declaration of title to land in a regular court. Please, we strongly advise Chief Emmanuel Orisejolomi Udwa, under hiding canopy, should go to any regular Nigerian law court as expected of any civilized persons. It is not true that the white paper recognizes Abigborodo. The correct facts are to the contrary. Rather, the report of the judicial panel of inquiry found that Abigborodo could not substantiate their claim of ownership in the forest reserve. This is the true position. The report does not state that Abigborodo or Gbekoko or any part of the reserve belongs to them. The judicial panel report is herewith attached. The ongoing conflict resolution process being presided over by the special advisor to the governor on peace building is one-sided. I repeat, it's one-sided. We have no confidence in that panel, that conflict headed by Chief Uzo. And the logical conclusion is that the essay is already biased. So we have no confidence in that report. He has already done it, but we don't have confidence. So we are telling the world to know, if whatever report you bring out, if it's not in accordance with all facts we have stated, we are going to reject them. Chief Emmanuel Orisejolomi Udwan is the leader of Abigborodo, and there are abundance of documents where himself and his people reveal that he is the one instigating the claim of ownership of Okpe, resulting in the petition, arrest, incarceration of Okpe people. The claim of defamation of him is mischievous and baseless, as put by Misa Kubenje. Thank you and God bless.
My name is Safraide Azan, President Abigborodo Community. I want to align myself with the senior community leader, the person of Chief Refuting, on his submission. I thank you.